here in this match right now, we have a map veto. We're going to find out where we actually get to play this best of 3. So it is just that, a best of 3, which means each team will ban one, then each team will pick one, and then we get the last 2 bans to figure out what our decider match will be.
Yeah, these teams both have pretty robust map pools, all things considered. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them go to any of the 7 maps. Obviously, there might be some theory crafting behind why you'd ban a map in the group stages and why you'd opt to play it in the group stages. Rogue banning out Coastline is a bit of surprising because Rogue does tend to be pretty good on Coastline, all things considered, and Consulate as well going from Space Station. Here.
We got Villa picked by Space Station, and Oregon's going to be the pick for Rogue. So we've already got our first 2 maps. Bank, Border, Clubhouse as the potential deciders. We'll find out where they get banned out. Bank's gone here from Space Station, one of the more defender-sided maps in this season. Clubhouse as well, equally so. It means Border will be our decider. I think that's a great place to have a decider match. So we're going to have to get to it, though. I think this could be a 2-0. Oregon, Villa could be very interesting. Oregon, also, I think, is one of the least defender-sided maps in all of Pro League right now, with about a 51.4% win rate for the defense. And again, every single map is defender-sided, so that's really low.
For those that wonder where we're referencing this, Siege GG, who provides a wealth of information, not just to the community, but also to us at these events, and sporadically through the regular season as well, came out with an infographic just about a week ago, or even a couple days ago, basically saying that the entire defense wins way more often than they don't. It's about 55 to 45, which is a complete reversal from where we were just a season ago when Lion came out before operator bans were a thing, with the attackers winning about 54% of the time. So it's changed up quite an awful lot. We are only about a month removed from both Kaid and Nomad making their entrance to Pro League, and we'll see what kind of impact they will have on shifting those numbers around. But that's something we have to wait until the end of the Invitational to really be able to get into.
That's going to be a really interesting one that eventually does happen. Got a great flank isolator in Nomad, and you've got an excellent, not bandit replacement, but bandit supplement or alternative in Kaid.
And another ACOG on defense as well.
Yeah, and a DMR on defense.
Essentially a shotgun DMR.
It's a DMR.
As much as you might like looking at us, we're going to throw to a break. While both these teams get set up, some technical issues get resolved, we'll be back with our second match of the day between Rogue and Space Station.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Swapping!
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Seconds to go. 10 seconds left. The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. 5 seconds remaining. Operators, you have run out of time.
When Fnatic seem to be able to come back every time with the emotionalness of reciprocity I was talking about earlier. Let's hope this doesn't turn into a frustration fest for them with always being like, oh, we're in the lead and then losing the lead for a while. But at the same time, they won the last map, so that should kind of buffer them a little in terms of, hey, this is their map. If we lose it, we know Villa so well, we can easily close this out, is what they've got to be thinking. But they've got to get through this map first, and they still have the possibility to close it out in a 2-0 if they can just shut down some of the defenders fast enough so they're not planting during 15 seconds.
Well, I like the 6 pick as well, coming out from Magnet. He was originally flashing the castle in inside of reveal phase, but he 6 picks over to the Valkyrie. So the castle more indicative of the setup that Reciprocity brought on Bar Stock. And throwing a little wrench into the plans there will be Fnatic as they head to go CCTV and Cash, as opposed to Bar Stock, the only other open objective for them currently. And Magnet really wishing he could get that Valkyrie cam back, because that's...
He wants a refund, but he didn't keep the receipt.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he only needs 2 important ones. These alibis, I think, definitely contributed last time. We saw a lot of drones hitting them or gunfire hitting them. I mean, putting them in windows on this map in particular seems to be a very popular and very effective strategy.
I think it's more the team they're playing against, because Reciprocity are so frag heavy and they are waiting until the last possible second right now. It's a distractionary measure, and it also reveals, while the alibis aren't crucial information early round, late round, they can be a dagger in the back, considering it's 5 very, very rapid pings onto your exact location while trying to go for a plant execute. The alibis have been working out remarkably. We have another attacker pinged by an alibi hologram again.
And Magnet on this roam again. He's just being really a thorn in the side of Reciprocity all around. They need to shut him down early. It's costing them so much in terms of their, like you said, time management.
Rizraz rocking the iron sights on the Vector, something that's become a little more common lately. I think it was Crusher. Yeah, it was Crusher for EXG, who are now in Pro League, but back in Challenger League when he was on the mirror role, he was rocking the Vector iron sights.
Traditionally, the only kind of Bandit that had been doing that, particularly in Eunice, doing that quite often. That's become a thing. Yeah, I guess it's just slowly some of the guns with good iron sights will be picked that way. Ooh, nice.
Foxake slowly inching his way in. He's got pressure outside from Mark as well, hitting the alibis, and Oasis wins that battle against Foxake. Beautiful work there from the anchor playing on the rafters. Takes a little bit of damage, but with an ADS and the hologram right in front of him, he's stalling out a long time here.
He needs to stop walking to the hologram, because he's making the hologram disappear, which means the shots that are coming out towards him aren't hitting the hologram, and that means they're not getting marked. If he would actually just step away from it for a second, that would actually give him the opportunity to get tagged, but Ace is picking up Mark. This is again falling apart. Fnatic just continuing potentially this comeback.
Oh, there it is. Retro with a nice shot. Last bullet in the mag too. Has to go for a full reload after, but Magnet downstairs on the roam will trade out Laxing. His mirror's been popped and spraying in towards Lounge as well. Trying to connect onto the head of Skies, who's playing underneath the rafter. So they've lost the rafter control, Fnatic have, but they have doubled up on man advantage in a 4v2. Retro trying to solo push with the Fuser in through the breach hole outside of CCTV, and Skies eventually coming in. That's one of the Yokais taken down as well, which is monumental for visibility, but with Aces being dead, he won't be able to stall out the plant. Skeleton Key ripping open the backsides for access into CCTV, and Retro wins out the engagement against Virtue as well, so that's 2 high-power weapons on the defensive side removed from play. Retro again winning out onto Rizraz. Skies trying to buck through into CCTV and into Cash as he rushes through. Retro still not trying to apply the plant just yet. He'll get up and on desk, and Lusty from in behind will down the diffuser. Right beside him, the knife from Skies, down to a 1v1. Magnet alone, the alibi pings coming out on the Skies, and he needs to try and get the plant down. He's in the middle of a doorway, for God's sake. All Magnet has to do is come in behind. The MPX will rip into shreds, and Reciprocity lose 3 straight. Fnatic storming back.
Another 4-round-in-a-row comeback, but man, Retro. They might have lost, but still, he's my MVP of that round. For a Thermite to just really put in that effort, he tried so hard, and Skies could not cover him on that plant. You know why? Because he spent half the round reloading a Skeleton Key. Every single time he used it. And I understand that. I can't fire a single bullet in this game without constantly feeling the need to reload. So, I mean, I could sympathize, but it certainly cost him time, because while Retro died, guess what he was doing? Reloading the Skeleton Key. We'll see, though, if they can finally bring around here to bring it to match point. We saw a similar situation in Console last time, but this is, again, looking like a dangerous tip towards overtime. But the first map being won by Reciprocity means if they can just win that in overtime, like you said, echoes of DreamHack, and that's all they need to be done. They don't have to play Villa, but if they do, I feel like they're going to be confident doing so. But again, we don't know what Fnatic have to show on Villa.
Yeah, Fnatic is a real question mark here when it comes to Villa. Should we need the decider map? If this rounds out here on Clubhouse with Reciprocity taking it, should they be able to adapt to their time control issues and be able to flush out some of the roaming presence that Fnatic are bringing?
You gotta imagine, though, if you're Fnatic, right, and you've been saving Villa the entire season, the last thing you want to do is have to show it in the very first match. So even if they win that, They've shown their Villa strat, and they no longer have that pocket strat going forward.
Well, the real question is, have they been saving it, or do they hate it, and it was just what was left, so they left the decider? We can't tell. We can't tell, and we'd probably have to ask them. I don't even know if they'd give us a straight answer.
We'll probably see soon the way things are going.
Yeah, if we do end up on Villa, it'll probably be evident very soon because Reciprocity's prowess on Villa. I wouldn't be at all shocked to see them really storming through and picking up a lot of rounds early on. But this time the Jackal from Mark let's do some good in repelling Magnet's roam game.
Hanging between Jackal and Alibi. It's almost like Lions playing.
Informational game goes back and forth on either side. So these wooden barricades, there's no one really around them, so Mark's just sending ammunition by the wayside. Spots Magnet's feet once again, and Magnet's already retreated all the way back to Church as he'll hold out, and again it seems like it's a double push.
I like that he identifies the colors, decides, hey, I've already pinged Valkyrie, I'm going to look for the other footprints, and instead catches Alibi. That's a good Jackal play right there. And again, the role's kind of switching up, so nice catch on the mute jammer as well, which is something that is actually very annoying for Jackal players. But in the meantime, because of all that, making a lot of noise, Magnet's actually sneaking up on him. Mark's drone, who would catch him there, gets shot, and then they retreat back down safely. But Sky's in the meantime picking up Lusty, who is again trying to play that kind of overly aggressive Alibi. But Rizraz on the trade.
Rizraz pushing up blue stairs on the way back down. We'll trade out Skies, who's died early once again. Kind of a common theme for him as he had a hot start on the defensive side of Clubhouse, but hasn't really been much of a factor so far on the attacking side. Fnatic trying to hold out and secure a match point possibility, as it'll be 6-4 if they come away with the round. And again, Reciprocity lower on time, but they're at least popping open hashes with a minute remaining and looking to angle in towards the site execute quickly. The stock hatch not being reinforced, even though that Reciprocity brought both breachers available to us as Maverick is banned. Could have been some more time on the side of Fnatic had that been reinforced.
So a lot of intel play coming out here at the very end of the round. Defenders trying to check every angle they can. Attackers pretty low on drones. Mark's still trying to use that second drone after the first one getting shot. Thankfully, at least he had that. But this is coming down to the wire again. It's just Reciprocity cannot execute any faster than Fnatic did. Despite all the droning, this is looking like, again, a dead end.
Laxton comes off the angle as the man playing K9 appeared to be aces, and he'll be holding pat as the thermite charge will come out onto Church Wall, and just ducking under the purview of Laxing is the man in blue from Fnatic. Smokes come raining in, flashbangs.
And welcome back to our second matchup of the day. Thrown a quick break, but now we're back in amongst the action. Space Station were the first team to get into the lobby. So does that mean they win? I believe that was what you said.
Yes, that is what I said.
It's literally what you said.
During the break.
I just stole it.
Waiting for everybody to get into the lobby. Space Station got in real fast.
Yes.
About 2 seconds from the first person to the last person landing in. And we're just waiting on Rogue now, loading in, getting ready. But it's all been taken care of, it seems, and we should have a match for you very soon. Again, that first map is going to be Villa.
I think it's great that when we toss to a break, they show the other stream. That's actually just happening over on behind a magic curtain that you can't see.
It's right over there.
Basically allowing you to get a taste of the Fnatic Reciprocity match, which I was able to watch while we were on the break, actually. And you went and devoured catering in about 5 minutes.
I did not get breakfast, and I
ate an entire meal in like 4.5 minutes.
I was very hungry. It was good.
I said you couldn't do it.
Well, you said that you couldn't do it.
I'm sure I couldn't have done it.
Yeah, but I was hungry, and I need sustenance to survive, and I got it.
Not just a competitive gamer, but also a competitive eater.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's
He used to be a competitive.
False.
Back in the day.
Never happened. See that face that he's doing right now? That means he's lying.
That's not what it means.
That's what that face right there, he lied to you.
Okay, that face means I lied.
So we've got everybody in the lobby, which means we're very likely to get things started up pretty soon here. Again, that map to start us off in this best of 3 will be Villa. Rogue versus Space Station. And we'll have Space Station starting on attack, Rogue starting on defense. It's going to be really exciting.
Villa again.
Yeah, Villa again.
Let's see, when we looked at the FaZe NIP game, what did we have? We had Aviator, Trophy, and Kitchen, so we didn't ever see the library, living room downstairs on the first floor. I don't know if we're going to see it this time.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah,
Probably not.
It's unlikely. It's that third off, or it's that fourth offsite even. People don't really like to go to. We've seen it happen once or twice. Actually, some North American teams, I believe, have brought us there before. So it's not inconceivable that we'll go to the living room library, but it's just unlikely.
I'm scouring my notebook right now to see.
He is doing that.
And actually, we did see it in the Accelerate Rise game. We saw.
Oh, yeah?
We saw it twice, but those are. Well, neither of those teams made it.
Yeah, they're not here, so.
So we maybe not. Who knows?
We'll find out. We'll get right into it, though. Bans starting off, and again, Rogue on defense, so they get to go first.
Any ban predictions, Michael?
I'm expecting a Jackal here, Parker. So you know Jackal is a very powerful attacking operator with smokes and can detect footprints. He's also widely played by many teams, especially on the more defender-sided maps.
Really going to do this?
Such as Villa.
Really going to say, yeah, I'm expecting a Jackal ban, right as Jackal is banned?
I also expect Glass. Maybe an Echo or a Maestro, probably a Mira. That one's a little bit late there. Sorry about
this
that.
time.
We've probably seen an Echo or a Maestro band out here. There are other options, and those are likely.
I would say we're probably going to see a Maestro ban here, given the way that these two teams play, and there you have it.
Yep.
So to leave Echo unbanned. Interesting. Echo has not been banned so far today.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. You don't see that very often. We have been seeing a lot of Maestro, though. Both of the two maps that we saw in FaZe versus NIP, Maestro were banned by FaZe. So, I mean, again, interchangeable operators. They do different things, but they do the same thing at the same time. It's weird. It's just it's accomplishing the same objective through different means with Echo and Maestro, essentially. Aviator Games or AVG going to be our first go-to site here for Rogue. Stands to reason. The standard site for pretty much any team on Villa.
I don't feel like we've seen a lot of Space Station play Glass recently, so it does make a lot of sense that they would ban the Glass out, because
True.
Rogue does play Glass quite a bit, and they can put Slash on that role if they need to.
Rogue also banned out the Maestro instead of the Echo, I'm guessing, because of that player on the opponent's side that, of course, we all know and love as being so good at that Maestro.
Easly's quite strong on that operator as well, but I think that there's flexibility on Rogue's side of things.
Yeah.
I have not been entirely sold. I have not been entirely sold on Redeemer playing on Echo, not the way that he used to. He just has so much better fragging potential on the Echo overall.
I think between Echo and Maestro, he could probably do both. He hasn't been having the most amazing performance, though, so far. In the regular season, he definitely hasn't been as present as he once was, if I'm being honest. And it's something that they're going to need to, well, Redeemer specifically is going to need to have a little bit more of an improvement on moving forward. But that's not for this immediate moment right here. Right here we have Space Station starting on attack. And this is the tricky thing. So not only are pretty much all of the maps, well, no, sorry, not pretty much, literally all of the maps defender-sided, but also on top of that, Villa is one of the most defender-sided maps outright, which means that Rogue have a substantial advantage going into this first map because they get to start on defense. It's also worth noting that both Rogue and Space Station are pretty, I don't know if I would say emotional teams, but they can be caught off balance and put into a tricky spot, and it's difficult for both of these teams to recover from a match, is basically what I'm trying to say. So if Rogue start this half off by getting 4 rounds in a row, for example, it's going to be a really tricky one for Space Station. That was incredibly clean from Bosco, taking out easily. Exceptional angle play there from the Zofia.
That's a quick one.
Yep.
And a pretty good way to start all things as well, by getting the opening gambit.
We're also going to be able to open up those walls. Hard destruction into B. That's going to be able to cut off the rotation between Gun Vault and B itself. Great job to Space Station already establishing that. No impact tricking going to happen. Possibly could have been Easley's job, but since he's gone, he's not going to be able to accomplish that.
I've seen Rogue run the Caveira that Vertical has quite, I don't want to say regularly, but on quite a few occasions, and it's not really that much of a surprise. Though it's the second matchup in a row that we've seen Cav come out. Obviously, Cav has seen some changes here.
Nerf is the wrong word, in my opinion, by the way.
Oh, no. Shutty AK. Oh, he forgot the L. That's okay. So hopefully there's no L for them this time around. You can possibly pick that up depending on what happens between these two teams. But anywho, he's going to lose a yokai just a little bit senselessly as he shuffles it on into study. It gets picked away by the Zofia of Bosco, who's still positioned there. She'll put Shuttle in more of just an attacking and fragging role. There's a minute to work with. So not the greatest of timing right now for Space Station as Shuttle just sees the legs of Bosco, lights it up quite hard, and he gets finished. Great shot from Bosco now to pick up his second kill. Look at Vertical. A massive opportunity for an interrogation here. If he can possibly get back to sight. His position really hasn't been noted. Eclipse can see a body. There you go. Takes out Bosco. Rampy trades him off. Vertical will have to hustle to get back into the site. Cannot outduel Thinking Nate and Space Station in a 4v1 with Slash trying to silence his phone, playing behind the bar. Diffuser going down from Redeemer. You can hear the case open up, but Slash knows that he probably doesn't have the coverage. He's cut off by a smoke grenade. He tries in vain, but is not looking in the right direction. Trying to peek around the corner, but there's 4 bodies from Space Station, all of whom will be trying to guard that diffuser and prevent Slash from being able to disable it as the smoke wanders on. Still a logic bomb available for Chala to use, and on the table, this is a perfect time to do so. The DMR will rattle off, and no headshot there from Slash at all. Chala will finish things. And only 1 member of SSG went down in the ensuing fray. And Space Station on attack will walk away with round number 1.
It's really good to get that early pick and early round for Space Station, especially again considering they were starting on attack. They're gonna have to attack on the same site there. 2 times in a row, it looks like Rogue are gonna stick to their guns on AVG. Now, in that last round, well, I really don't know what to say. Rogue had a lot of opportunities to even that out, and Bosco was given essentially 2 free kills at the very beginning of the round. I don't know what Easley was attempting to do, playing that hallway facing into study. It's a very dangerous angle to play. Another curious thing is that either he didn't have a Legion Trap set up, or his Legion Trap was shot. If his Legion Trap was shot, not the best plan to actually play the angle knowing that your information gathering is no longer available. You know somebody's going to push it, yes, but the Legion Trap can give you the timing on the fight. Easley did not have the timing, and thus he lost the fight. Overall, because he lost that fight, he was not able to impact the wall. And yes, the Hibana holes were low enough that they wouldn't have been impacted anyway, but still relevant, as it's a part of the utility that was lost for free. Following that, we saw some really abysmal angle play from some of the Rogue players. And you saw at the end, Slash had no intel at all. He thought players were in gun vault. That means the yokai drones are poorly positioned, if positioned at all. That one yokai drone that was lost in study, huge. And there's no Valkyrie being played. And so that's pretty substantial.
Also no IQ.
No IQ. So, I mean, a Valkyrie could be very, very useful.
All right. So
it's not me.
Round number 1 in the books here. And a bit of a brief update just before we get into this. Fnatic have tied it up and will send the second stream to a 3rd map between Reciprocity and Fnatic.
That's really impressive. Last time I checked that stream, I think Fnatic were like down 4-1, 4-2,
I think it was like 4-1. Yeah, that's when I saw it as well.
Yeah, so that's crazy that they managed to bring that back. Got to be an exciting match.
Obviously, tilt factor is something that needs to be, I guess, looked upon, but...
Something I want to know is, are both Fnatic and Reciprocity running the same skin that everyone else seems to be running?
Yeah, this tan camo skin.
Yeah, it
just blends in so well on these beige maps.
Every single person is running it.
Now, with the failure of the Aviator endgame site, well, there's an opportunity to go back there if Rogue so chooses. But no matter what, you're going to have Rogue playing on that first floor yet again. And Pulse play has been a little suspect so far today. We really haven't seen anything that great out of any Pulse players on either FaZe, NiP, or here on Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some C4s from below in the FaZe NiP match, but it wasn't from the Pulse, ever. So, definitely worth noting. I think the one time we did see, or 1 or 2 times we did see a kill was from the Mute, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Whether you have the C4 or whether you have the cardiac sensor, to be able to give that information, Rogue is going to need it. As you have Shuttle's yokai drones that were given away a little bit too easily in that very first round. Keep them a bit safer this time. Space Station doesn't really have the tools to be able to find them. Smoke grenades going down, as now Rogue will get a little bit more aggressive and push on up and really rely on Eclipse at this point to be able to give the information to the rest of his team, but he'll be found and spotted by Rampy, one of the strongest players in all of North America. First round of those logic bombs will go off and give the position of Rogue's defenders away, as Space Station looks primed and ready to try to push in towards the site. You see there's a yokai playing over top of the doorway. That'll be able to stop anybody from Space Station who wanders too near. Second kill for Rampy as he dispatches vertical onto the Vigil instead of the Kavera this time around. And phone's still ringing away. Shuttle will take out Rampy and at least calm down the Twitch. As now Shuttle looks for a second kill. He'll fire all the way in to the smoke, but doesn't find anybody. There's Slash picking off Redeemer, and they'll even things out. Not a lot of time to work with. Rogue in great position. I'm thinking Nade give his team another advantage. Easily takes one down, but it's a perfect trade. And Shuttle on his yokai drone will have 10 seconds just to stop this plan. He needs to get over there in a hurry, and he's in a great position there. He'll stun, but use both of them. Oh no!
Why?
Poorly timed.
Why?
And Chala is going to be able to get this plant down. Shuttle will have to take matters into his own hands and go for two
Not penetrable.
There's a Claymore in range, and Shuttle will wander on out. A Gumine will give the position of one member of Space Station away, but Shuttle's in such a tough spot. A rogue peek from Chala here will land Shuttle an easy kill. Should be able to get him one, but there's an immense amount of patience. Doesn't take too long. Bosco's there, and just poor timing from Shuttle. He had everything in his power to stop that defuse, and it's a fatal mistake in that round. SSG will take it.
Big whoops.
A really big heckin' whoops coming right up.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake there from Shuttle for sure, but it wasn't the only reason that Rogue lost that round, of course. The rest of the anchors did get taken out by Space Station. Great coordination. Now, if I'm not mistaken as well, this is really confusing to me. I don't think that bar is penetrable. I'm pretty sure there's metal plates behind the bar. So, a little bit of lack of knowledge there. Either that or I'm the buffoon for assuming that, or whatever the case be.
Nobody would say that about you.
Thank you, Parker, but people have said that about me in the past, I'm sure. Anyway, Space Station now up 2-0, and that last round for Rogue looked a lot closer than the previous time when they tried to defend AVG, the first round, but it just wasn't enough. They're going to change who's playing Echo. I think that's the right call here for Rogue. Keep Echo in play, but switch up the person on that role. They've also decided to bring the Valkyrie, which is fantastic, an operator that's been available but underutilized so far. At the same time, however, IQ has been brought out. So the counter is in from Space Station, and it might be too late here for Valkyrie to be relevant because of that IQ.
I'm trying to think on the few times that we've seen Space Station play here, who exactly inhabits the Jackal role on the team.
I mean, Jackal's, I think, one of those operators that many people can play, but usually you put it on your Ashe main.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Rampy who plays that role? Because I don't really think, I don't know if I've seen Rampy play Jackal. When they ban Ashe, he plays.
He's a very versatile operator.
IQ or
most people, I think most people are capable of playing a Jackal too. He's got a really good gun. He's got smokes.
Yeah.
His gadget is pretty much a self-driving thing. Eclipse with great coordination there with the Valkyrie. I'm gonna take out Chala, likely a camera inside a laundry there to make that call happen.
Yeah. I was just trying to think, because I was looking at the bans from Rogue, and I was trying to figure out exactly who's going to be the one to play that Jackal. Interesting here. IQ got buffed. Her gadget sensor is now 20 meters instead of the old 15. Pulse's cardiac sensor is only 9, which means that as Eclipse is on this cardiac sensor, the IQ is able to continuously give this information. And as long as Rampy stays far enough back, Michael, then the Pulse isn't going to know that there's an IQ in play. So all that information will be going in favor of the attackers, leaving Rogue completely blind. There you go. Now Rampy's underneath. Still has his information, but there you go. Off the cardiac sensor, Eclipse will go.
We talked about the IQs coming from below many times before on Villa. Not a lot of self-destruction to work with here, but he can still call out the electronics and clear out the roamers potentially downstairs. He is the best tool to use to clear out a pulse. That pulse has been spotted by Redeemer. He's in actually a very exposed spot, but he's got the support of the Valkyrie that's vertical. Bosco shuts him down, though. Excellent gunplay from Bosco. Eclipse goes for the C4. It will miss. Broadcasted and easy to dodge there for SSG. Rogue's going to rotate Eclipse over to the main hallway. Shuttle can cover this rotation from above. That's a beautiful setup there. But no one's going to take the bait on Space Station's side. Eclipse gets into a fight and wins it against Rampy, but loses all of his HP in the process.
If he possibly tries to rotate on up, though, you're in a great spot now to possibly have thinking he'd be able to get the kill. He almost finishes off easily, but he won't be able to get what little was left of the Echo. Playing inside of Astronomy, thinking it looks the wrong way. The UMP of Eclipse is not sufficient. There's barely any time left here, Michael. Only 15 seconds to go, and Easley's in perfect position. He'll finish off Thinking Nade. Redeemer's going to have to walk right in. He'll take the head right off a shuttle, but he doesn't have a lot of time. He's going to have to stick the plan. He knows he doesn't really have much of a chance. But there's a Yokai drone in play. And Slash as well, to get the final kill needed and give Rogue their very first victory.
That was a really good setup there from Rogue, gotta say. I like what they were doing with the roamers downstairs. Not only did those roamers hold their own for quite a long time, but they also linked up with the anchors playing vertically to support each other and allow for Rogue to get some pretty easy free kills. And following that, with the man advantage, Rogue just knew they needed to wait out the round and lock it out, and they did exactly that. We're going to have a tactical timeout, tactical pause from Rogue. Good timing here from Ranger to make it happen. He's going to call out those strats for his team so that they can get underway. Important to note that the coach is not able to talk to the team regularly, except during a tactical timeout. It's a really crucial time for Ranger to relay some strats and information to his team. I'm sure if you read lips, then you know exactly what's going on. Unfortunately, I don't.
I think he's saying, hey guys, I know that you're really excited for Game of Thrones to come back, but we got to get through this first and foremost.
It's fair.
I don't know if you've seen the teasers. Kev, what do you think? You're wearing your shirt says the North Remembers. Are you okay? Do you guys all want the same hoodies? Slash, what size are you?
We'll get you some hoodies real quick.
I can get some too.
It's cold outside.
It's supposed to get even colder.
It's, what is it, negative something right now?
It's
negative 11?
21 right now.
Well, it's negative 11 if you speak European.
Yeah. Are you sure? Easley's looking for one. It's not behind his keyboard.
Couldn't find it.
He couldn't find it. Couldn't find the sweater.
Ranger will get on that now that we're out of the tactical pause.
He won't need to talk to the team. He can go get it. Okay.
Yeah, so no talking to the team, which means easy pickup of the merch. Get them nice and warm, toasty, so they can go outside again. Oh, and we're back. We're back to this, but this time they can't talk to each other.
Yeah, they can't talk to each other.
You see their mics are up again because not in the middle of a tactical.
They do same-day delivery in Montreal?
I think they do, Parker. I'm actually pretty sure this is one of those cities where like you can get most things same-day delivered.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm not 100% on that one, but I gotta imagine Amazon's pretty prevalent here. Anyway, we're all gonna be going to kitchen. They don't want to go back to AVG. They're afraid of it, and rightfully so.
They're more of a Norton team.
I don't get that joke. Is that it's like a team joke, a sports joke?
10 seconds
I don't get that one. What is it?
It's fine. Somebody will understand that reference, and they will enjoy it. Hopefully.
Okay. Usually explain.
Hopefully one person gets that.
Oh, I'm sure somebody will. I'm sure somebody will.
There you go.
Rogue going to be, again, going to kitchen. They've got to set up upstairs. Pretty heavy on the roam. Makes sense. Something that you really need to do on Villa. Keep some peripheral control.
Interested to see the way that Space Station is going to attack this one.
Yeah, I mean, last time they attacked on a trophy, and they tried to clear out the roamers first, right? They failed pretty spectacularly in clearing out the roamers. They did manage to get it done eventually, but they lost too much manpower. Then when attacking the site, they were a little bit off focus, and they came at it from an odd angle. Well, not odd angle, but just angles that were still being easily held by the defenders because there was nothing done by the attackers to disable those angles being played. Space Station just skipped a few steps in their last attack. Here on this site, though, it of course, since it's something they haven't attacked yet, they could show us something new.
They've got, I mean, there's lots of utility too, right? They've got the disruption with the Zofia, they've got smokes as well, and Space Station actually utilized smokes exceptionally well on Aviator Gaming, but they didn't really get to do all that much of it on the trophy side of things. I think a lot of it was that, I mean, Chala died so early on that you don't have any backup smokes. And when you might put Redeemer on a Capitao and have somebody else play hard destruction if you put Chala on that role, but they're not really doing that here.
I mean, if Space Station were hell-bent on bringing a Jackal, then the Jackal ban from Rogue certainly has upset the way that Space Station have been playing. That is the, looks like the rail of that rifle. We won't have to look at it anymore.
That's super high def.
Easily is going to be putting some shots into Redeemer's feet as he attempts to push into Laundry. Also be calling out that exact push as the heartbeat is now readily available.
Yeah. This is easily very, very close. He's going to lose his wall, and the entire ceiling above him also gone. Logic bombs going off. This is going to be dangerous, dangerous position for the Pulse to find himself in. He's going to survive a lot longer than I would have given him credit for.
He needs to survive for a whole extra minute, but all things considered, no pick so far for the attackers. This is a great spot for Rogue to find themselves in. They have lost a little bit of control by Laundry, but that's not the end of the world. And they still have roamers on the top floor to play vertically. Potentially come to a flank using those drop downs later in the round. It's smokes and gas canisters to try and deny the plant, but there's no one in a position to take out Redeemer. Scratch that. We'll see Slash's gas canister do just that. Vertical also takes out Rampy, so we're back to an even man count. Chala corrects that for Space Station, but Shuttle does the same exact thing. And it keeps going back and forth. Bosco upstairs will eliminate Shuttle, trying to answer his phone, leaving just Vertical in a 1 versus 2. Diffuser not being planted just yet. Chala's waiting for cover. Going for it now. He can hear the tap-tap, gets the shot. Vertical goes for one more, but can't land it. Such a close round. Bosco will lock it out, though. Not able to cover his teammate, but gets the refrag, and that's just as valuable.
Not really an opportunity there to be able to walk away with both of those frags off of Vertical side of things. You got to feel for him. But it was also just the way that Rogue played early in that round. So many trades back and forth, and you just don't come out ahead. It really just comes down to, at that point, which team is playing closer together, and it ended up being SSG.
So, Space Station have already won this half. Currently, the scoreline is 3-1, yes, and potentially this could go to 3-3, but that is beside the point. The 60% defender win rate on Villa is why Space Station are in a commanding position right now, even if they lose all of the subsequent attack rounds.
They can.
Redeemer all the calls there that he needs for the rest of his team to be able to help out. I know that we pay a lot of attention to Bosco, but he's just such a consistent player on LAN. He always shows up, doesn't matter what team he's on.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's on Elevate, doesn't matter if it's on Obey, doesn't matter if it's on Era. He's always there for his team, and today is no exception. He's able to do so on a variety of roles, but sticking him on the Zofia is good because you give him a little bit of utility and give him lots of fragging power. I'm curious to see Space Station, when they go to defense, they've switched up their roles a little bit. If you remember the one interview that we were able to do with Lycan in the regular season, basically said that Bosco was more comfortable on smoke and the way he was able to control the pacing of the sites. Just Thinking Nade's traditional role, and you move Thinking Nade off of that. I don't know if it really worked all that well for them in the regular season. I still think that Thinking Nade is top tier in that position, though his stats this season have been pretty lackluster.
I mean, what was their record? 1-4-2?
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Something like that. So Space Station haven't been having, no matter how you look at that, it's a bad season so far for Space Station. 4 draws, it's just, that's crippling. You're losing so many points.
Something's got to change at that point,
yeah,
right?
Something's got to change. Yeah. So we'll see. But here in this match, right this minute, they're having a good start to this Villa. I mean, 3 attack rounds, it's very impressive.
The only site that was really successful for Rogue was over on Trophy and Statuary.
Yeah, and they can't go back there.
And they can't go back. Well, they can next round.
Yeah, they can't go back there right now.
Right, so they have to go somewhere else. Well, Kitchen, I would say, was actually probably closer than Aviator Games.
I agree with that. AVG has been a struggle for this team.
Right, so why would you, I don't know, I would possibly go back to Kitchen and see what you can do if maybe there's just an assumption among Rogue that they're better primed on this Aviator Games site. I don't know.
I'm guessing they're just trying to keep things moving, keep the ball rolling, you know, not get static. I agree with that philosophy, and I think it could potentially work out for Rogue here, but they've already lost a very crucial part of that reinforced wall into A.
But they didn't get the wall into B on Space Station's side because Easily is bandit tricking, which is something that we don't see a ton of.
He's allowed to bandit trick because Shuttle is watching his flank from the main hallway on Echo.
And there you go. They'll finally push Easily off. He'll get spotted and pinned under drone as Bosco just continually gives this information to the rest of his team. And Shuttle finishes off Rampy, though. So this Echo playing in 90 is able to get the opening salvo, so to speak, onto SSG and take out the IQ. So there you go. Rampy on the IQ, off of the Ash, off of the traditional fragging operators that we put him on. And, you know, IQ is as good as any to be able to get the kills needed.
Yeah.
Fast, good gun, etc.
That means the Yokai drones are going to be so much more important. Shuttle did just kill his main counter, and with only 40 seconds left, we've got no crouch holes into the site. 2 prone holes, yes, but no crouch holes. And it's going to be hard to access because of that. Rogue also have control of these roaming positions still, by 90, for example. You can see the Thatcher trying his best to get control of 90, but it's going to be a really difficult take there. Especially with these gas canisters starting to come out. Chala has worked his way into sight, though. He might be able to get an easy 2-piece if he catches somebody off guard. The Nitro Cell will go out, though, and Eclipse perfectly placed. Redeemer will take out Vertical at the same time, and the diffuser's being planted. Where are the Yokai drones? They're not available, apparently, and the diffuser will go down. Rogue have somehow lost full control of sight. SSG just waltzed in and planted. I have no idea what I just witnessed.
A lack of utility, and you hate to point fingers, but that's the second round where you've got a Yokai in play in a common plant spot, and you can't do the trick. This is actually something that has befallen Space Station a number of times, and Redeemer has worn this through a variety of losses where he doesn't have his Yokais in position to be able to stop the plant. We have a good visual on how long this plant is going down. Bosco gets tagged in. He's sitting in the midst of smoke. Over by the bar, he's getting the plant off quite successfully. And there's just no information. There's none at all. Shuttle is totally blind. And the Echo's not working for him. You go with the Legion instead. I think that's a smart choice. Either the comms have fallen off on Rogue's side of things, or you need to put Shuttle on another operator. Because, frankly, you cannot be relying on your Yokais to stop the plant when they fail to do so, and you have 2 rounds that are winnable, and you don't win them because you don't have your utility in the right place at the right time.
You know, it's not necessarily just the Yokais, too. I mean, you're talking about information as well. There's no Valkyrie being brought that last round. Instead, they decided to bring a Bandit. Here, we have a Valkyrie. Great. But
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. Lack of information, poor calls, whatever you want to blame it on. Yeah, it's really unfortunate the way that ended up happening for Rogue. And because they failed to defend AVG every time they went to it, the standard bomb site, the primary bomb site for most teams, they are now in a crippling disadvantage in terms of round count. I mean crippling. We're 60% win rate for defense on Villa. And you're losing 4 attack round or 4 defense rounds. That can't be happening, man. And you got to imagine once SSG switch over to their defensive half, unless they make some pretty serious blunders, we're going to have a really one-sided match here.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? It's possible. Space Station, again, one of those teams, they're really hard to predict. Sometimes, you know, one moment, they'll be performing, having an amazing match. The next moment, starts going the other way.
It's funny, though, because I think SSG has kind of morphed into a much better LAN team.
It's true.
You know, USN, they looked pretty good. DreamHack Winter, they looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Now here, at least the start that they've had so far, they look pretty good. It's very similar to Ninjas in Pajamas last season. Remember, Ninjas in Pajamas last season were almost a tire fire for most of the first half. They come to Paris, and what do? They tear it up. They make it out of groups. They're the only Brazilian team to make it out of groups. And they give EG a run for their money in the quarterfinals. The same thing happens in BR6.
It's absolutely a fair theory, and honestly, it makes sense. But what really worries me is the inconsistency. Like, yeah, okay, they're a LAN team, but I don't know. It's worrisome because, I mean, what's happening to NIP now? I mean, they didn't just lose their match against FaZe. they got absolutely, well, they got it handed to them against FaZe. And this is, again, it's on land, so that comparison, not good necessarily.
We just saw a Valkyrie camera go down, and we also just saw a Yokai go down, and in one round, SSG has managed to take out more utility with an IQ than NiP did for their entire series. It feels like it's something they can possibly learn from there.
Yeah, maybe.
But here's what I like what SSG is doing at the moment. They're basically fighting all onto the actual site itself, and they're going to force Rogue to retake.
Yeah.
They are completely ignoring the roamers, it appears. And that's going to be a major problem for Rogue, because you've got both the Valkyrie and the Pulse downstairs, who will now need to have to worry about flank watching.
Those players, though, both of them have C4, and it looks like it's an adjustment from SSG. One player at least coming down to try and clear out underneath. Dokkaebi going to use those phone calls to disrupt these defenders, but with 30 seconds left, all defenders still alive. This should be a round for Rogue, all things considered. All they need to do is wait. Still control Master Bathroom. Easley's taking full advantage. Eclipse is going to get a C4 from below onto Chala, as we expected. Diffuser's being planted and no Pulse C4 available. It's also on a hard floor. Easley and Eclipse both get one for themselves. Just two on Space Station. Easley's inside a Master, and he will flank Bosco. Finally takes him out, but that was very scary for a second. Rogue will take the round, and an excellent retake. Not enough manpower being chopped away there from Space Station in earlier parts of the round. They really worked at that utility. Because of that, they were able to get the plant. But no picks happening prior to actually pushing into the site that's not great, Parker. It's not great.
It's not great.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
Well, I mean, 4-2 is still a fantastic half for Space Station.
Yes, I agree. If you're the attackers and you're coming out of this circumstance like this, then you're going to be comfortable and confident here, right? And we've seen SSG play Villa earlier. They played against Evil Geniuses. They lost, of course, but they gave EG a good run for their money on what would begin, I guess, the reign of terror that EG has had over North America. My only question for Space Station is, how are they going to be able to communicate on defense? Rogue so far have not looked like they're able to really talk to each other the same way that they used to be. And I know that there's growing pains. When you had somebody new to the roster, you had vertical to that roster, you're going to need to make sure that people are still being able to communicate with each other really well. When the comms fall off for Rogue, they get into a lot of trouble. I think also that's part of why you saw the issues with Shuttle's, Yokai play. I like the change that was made from Rogue, putting Easley on that Yokai. He really held that round together, not just in terms of information, but also in terms of killing. The MP5. I don't know. I think if Space Station ends up taking this round right here, they're going to be in excellent position to carry on forward.
I mean, if they...
and possibly put it away. Rampy with the 6-pick on Nakav, as long as he's been able to evade all of the drones, then he might be in a position to surprise somebody. But Rogue doesn't typically entry solo. So that's something where Rampy will need to not just land enough to down one, but also two.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have noticed that Cav has been played quite a lot so far.
I think this is her third time, I would say.
All things considered, as far as Cav go, that's a lot.
With the new changes.
And it's because of the new changes, I think. Again, I don't think it made her more consistent per se, but I think it made her more versatile. Got a lot more range there on her weapons, and it does show. It's really important that you can be more versatile as a player and an operator in this game. Eclipse is going to take a little bit of early damage there. Not sure exactly where, but already lit up. That's not great. Slash playing on the Blackbeard. An abnormality, to be certain, but not the craziest thing. Blackbeard's still very powerful if you just want to win those gunfights. Ooh, the Yokai Giant might actually get zapped there on the Thatcher, and yeah, it will hit the floor, so potentially could be executed.
It just sounded like he lost it as well.
Yeah, it looks like he lost it. So that's a pretty big win there for Rogue.
IQ and Thatcher is a very potent combo to try to pin down Redeemer. And it's actually kind of funny because you think back to this team on Space Station ages ago when you knew that Echo only had one Yokai at the time. EG actually ran an IQ an awful lot back when IQ saw very minimal pick rate solely to counter Redeemer. And if you can basically cut him out from the rest of the team, then Space Station's fortunes fall very fast.
It is certainly something that has crippled SSG in the past. And Shuttle's going to take down Chala. So already a good start here for Rogue. And Could be a very successful attacking round, that's for sure, but thinking Nane's going to refrag onto easily. It's not over just yet. That's the Maverick gone. Maverick hasn't been seeing a lot of play so far today, but he's a very influential operator here on Villa.
He comes on in, and Slash now has control of this classical hallway, as well as 90. There's still mute jammers that they're going to have to deal with here, and only hard destruction, as you noted, was that Maverick. He's gone. Slash will give his position away, but he's just able to do so much damage. It's that Blackbeard. He's going to try to outduel the Caveira, and very low on HP. Slash will have to stop and pull that needle out of his foot. Very, very close. Spacestation being able to walk away with a kill onto that Blackbeard, trying to provoke a fight so you can soften up his body and not put yourself in a heads up against that deployable shield. Rogue are flirting right now with the main doors into the site, but they haven't really been able to do all that much. The Caveira looks like she still might be undetected as well, and Rampy just guarding the doorway. There's two bodies of Rogue very, very close inside a study. There's a push all the way over by the Master side. Three bodies of Rogue will have to choke through that smoke. Vertical gets downed. Shuttle almost stopped as well. Oh, Rampy, a Pokeball to take out Vertical. Eclipse is there, but Rogue is running at a time. No diffuser going down, and Space Station will just hang on. And what ends up being a complete fistfight. Redeemer's fired up, and Space Station will take the very first defense on Aviator. Probably look towards Trophy and Statuary as their second site.
Yeah, 3 attempts at AVG from Rogue, all failures. 1 attempt from Space Station, and they managed to make it happen, and that's the difference maker here in this match right now. An inability to defend AVG is really what crippled the first half for Rogue. Now, that last round, Rogue were all over the place, man. I mean, they tried to push into Aviator with, what, like 20 seconds left, 15 seconds left, something like that. The round was basically over at that point. A couple gas canisters, there's not a whole lot you could do about that. And even the impacts ended up being influential there in that round, as he called them the Pokeball. Now, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. The way that Rogue played that, they were trying to clear out roamers on the north side. And once they cleared out those roamers, they were also trying to clear in through Study, but they didn't ever actually clear Study. And because of that, the Thatcher was... I mean, it took him a long time to meet up with his team. Aside from that, there was too much utility on the defensive side, ready and waiting to deny the push, because Rogue got distracted with the players who were roaming downstairs and by the main stairs. They didn't get enough payment for hunting those roamers either. Not enough of an advantage to really matter when it came to the site take.
How much of that do you also think falls on Rogue just not bringing a Heart Breacher?
I mean, they brought the Maverick, right? He got picked off super early. I think Maverick can do a lot of the hard breaching you really need on that side in particular. All right, you could open up all the holes that you need to cut off rotations on Gun Vault. You can make crouch holes pretty easily with 1 canister. It's not a difficult thing. So, I don't know. I think the other hard breachers would have been easier, certainly. But Maverick can accomplish the same thing that you need. It's just going to take him a little bit more time. On that note, though, also, Rogue's time management?
Dreadful.
Dreadful.
You had 3 bodies trying to funnel in through the same entrance.
At 15 seconds.
15 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And I think it was Shuttle who got downed. I can't remember exactly who the very first one to get downed was.
One of them.
But they almost blocked the entire doorway, maximizing the amount of damage that those toxic canisters could do from the smoke.
Yeah, and then the impact finishes off the one who's down, downs another.
Yes.
I mean, it was just a stack of utility because, again, that utility hadn't been worked away from by Rogue.
Rampy giving them the old 2-for-1 right there.
Yep.
So, Rogue using Vertical as the best that they can. He's an exceptional entry fragger, and they've been able to get him inside with a multitude of drones. This Maverick poke holes that have been created means that Slash will basically be immortal.
Yeah. This is why they brought the Blackbeard, so they can combo it with the Maverick. It's a potent combination.
It is, but it's almost a pure fragging combination. There's very minimal utility that you're bringing.
Yeah.
You rely on Vertical to be able to land those shots in astronomy, and he can't do so. Every single member of Space Station full HP. Thinking Nate hurts Slash, but Slash will walk away with the kill, and Space Station will be in trouble here. Here's Vertical trying to make sure they can pin down the body playing an Astro. You've also got Shuttle there on Repel, and this is a very dangerous position for Space Station. This could go bad for them in a hurry.
Vertical looking for the angle, but he's yet to find it. I mean, he's been hunting for this for a long time. Shuttle also missed his Firebolt. And from below, Rampy will get the C4. Why did he get that C4? Because Vert played that angle for a solid 20 to 30 seconds. That is not ideal. Now, Rogue are in a tricky spot. They have a lot of great angles into the site. Blackbeard can still play them, but there's still plenty of anchors to hold this out. You can see that most of Rogue are coming from Master, potentially all coming from Master and the bathroom. Yes, they're all 4. And this is a really linear push from Rogue. It could work out, but it's tricky.
And here's the issue again, no hard breach. You're gonna have to funnel through the doorways. There's no soft destruction for you to do here. Chala has not been shaken inside of Astronomy, and there you go. But Slash picks up his second kill on to Bosco, easily tasked with getting that diffuser down. While somebody watches, he's sitting amidst the smoke. It looks to be quite successful. Good coverage from Rogue there as Shuttle picks off Rampy, and Space Station has just Redeemer and Chala left. Make that just Chala's, down goes Redeemer. Chala takes 1, but he's got all those poke holes, and there's easily, with the Blackbeard still holding that tight angle. You mentioned it very perfectly. You keep the Blackbeard and the Maverick synergized. That's all it takes. I said it was a lack of utility, but you don't really need utility when you can still get the kills that you need. Now be Rogue being able to answer back. Now Space Station can go back to Trophy, or they can roll the die and go downstairs.
So, we'll see what they do. It looks like it's going to be going back to Trophy. And I think that's the right call, honestly. I think they could have easily taken that, and now that they know what they're dealing with, there's ways to counter it. The combination of the Blackbeard Maverick there were what managed to get Rogue that round, hands down. Pretty much everywhere else, Rogue were having difficulties. The Capitao, covering with the smokes, was also very important. There was a lack of echo as well on the defense, and that has been corrected by Space Station. So potentially can deny the plant this time around from off-site. And it's a good pick here from Redeemer. I'm not sure why they went without the echo in the last round, but it doesn't really matter. It's in the past, and it did cost Space Station quite a lot. I mean, yeah, the plant was going down under smoke, and Echo can't see through smoke using those yokais, but it's not that hard to pinpoint the location of a planter when you've got some yokai drone directly above him, or at least in the same room above him.
5 seconds left.
It's pretty obvious when the tip-tap on the keyboard of that diffuser is going off. But again, we'll see if Space Station can make that happen. As we've talked about previously in this match, Redeemer's yokai play has not been amazing as of late.
No.
When we saw him transfer from the Echo to the Maestro, he's now since transferred back because most of the time he's playing. I mean, Maestro gets banned quite a lot, but it hasn't been as potent as it was in the past, and we're still looking for that to change. And this could be the opportunity for Space Station to, or Redeemer specifically, to prove that he's still got it on this operator.
It's a very similar lineup for Space Station as well, and oh no.
That's free.
Just, you know they're running an IQ.
They've got to run an IQ. I mean,
yeah.
We're talking about Villa. IQ not only is pretty much essential when you don't have an echo band period on any map, but also Villa, dude. She's so good here.
A bit of a spoiler there. Thank you, Chala, showing off the VIP Jaeger skin for the Invitational.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, look at it. It's all silver and gold.
There it is,
there
yeah.
It is.
About a VIP. That's VIP.
Those are for the VIPs that will be attending the Invitational. Very nice, Chala. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, here's an issue for Space Station. Vertical has been on the pulse hunt. He caught Rampy downstairs. It's pushed Rampy down to the basement. Obviously, that 20 meters on the range of IQ's gadget will be incredibly potent. Powerful, which means that Rampy will have to just be able to get back to site blind because there won't be that much there for him. I don't really know how easily got in a position to engage an Echo, especially when Echo has the Bearing 9 sidearm equipped, but...
Looks like he was just opening the wall and he got taken out because he peeked into his own hole. That's unfortunate.
Oh, what? Oh, Slash picks up 2! Oh, Chala and Redeemer pop up, and Spencer sits them down. That's Slash. What a play.
2 for the price of 1. We've been seeing a lot of that today, and that was basically free because he managed to get that. Now Rogue are back in this round. It looked like SSG were going to be able to lock it out, but not the case anymore, it seems. As Eclipse takes down Rampy, it is a decisive advantage here for Rogue. They've been very slow with their attack, but that's all they need to do in this situation. They don't need to rush it. They've got plenty of time and utility to give themselves the advantage.
And they still have Vertical, who can take out those goo mines and take out those traps that might be laying in wait for the rest of the team. Bosco on that old familiar smoke roll, in a great spot to just be able to hold people off. But there isn't a lot of room to sit comfortably on this site, especially as everybody starts to close in on you. Thinking Nate will put good use to that weapon, take out Shuttle, and there goes the Capitao, and the only set of smokes that you have available to allow Bosco to just continuously blanket the site. Slash, as well as Vertical, will push in from the same direction while Eclipse eliminates Thinking Nate and Bosco. Need to walk on into the danger zone. Is there adequate coverage? Diffuser going down from Vertical, but Bosco is blind. He sees the Blackbeard shreds through Slash as there's poor coverage. You can hear the Thatcher at the AR-33 inside a Master. Spots exactly where Bosco is. SMG-11's got a little bit more difficult recoil to have to work with. He'll have to try to get that diffuser down. Rogue will stand pat and just simply wait for the time being, as Bosco will be very exposed as he tries to cross on over. Doesn't really know where anybody is. Obviously, there's no yokais available, and you can see that Rogue has fallen even farther back. Bosco pushes on up, and Eclipse knocks him down. Rogue putting together a very good streak here on attack, Michael, as they now have 4 rounds. And that gap between SSG closed almost.
Wow, that was an unfortunate round for Space Station. Any other operator apart from a Blackbeard, and that would have been Space Station's round. They lost 2 to the Blackbeard, who simultaneously lost his shield because Space Station, one of those players, shot the shield out. I believe it was Redeemer. Either way, we haven't seen so much value gotten out of a Blackbeard in a good long time. I mean, we've seen Blackbeard play. He's still a very good operator. But the amount of value that Slash is getting out of him is ridiculous in this match so far.
Slash is a really underrated player.
It's true.
I mean, he's a quiet guy, doesn't really stick much to social media, doesn't stream, just shows up, plays well, and leaves. That's literally it. He lets his talking happen on the battlefield while also helping lead the rest of his team. And right now, as Space Station takes their tactical timeout, it'll allow Ranger to come back in and discuss with the team exactly what went wrong in that first half, how they've corrected it so far in the second half.
Yeah.
As Aviator Games is going to be unlocked again for Space Station.
I can tell you on that note, by the way, while Slash is a pretty quiet guy, he's got comms on lock. His comms were always good. Never panics. One of the more focused players. Makes sense to put him on that Blackbeard. Aviator Games here from Space Station. And this is the only... This is a weird match so far, because this is the only defense that SSG has managed to win. We've got 3 wins on defense for this match thus far.
Just another day of the office for Villa?
Yep, totally. So for those of you who are confused, again, I've said it a lot today, but I'll say it again, 60% win rate. Why can I not say that? Win rate? Is that how you say it, Parker?
Yes.
Thank you. 60% win rate for the defenders on this map. So this is a bit of an abnormal one, to say the least. AVG, the setup coming in here. Got an interesting lineup here from both teams. Of course, we're going to be bringing the Maverick and the Blackbeard combination yet again from Rogue. And why wouldn't they? It's been working out really well for them so far. The one time that we saw a defensive win, actually, matter of fact, they still had the Maverick Blackbeard, but Maverick died before he was able to open up any holes, and that's probably why SSC were able to take this site. That makes you wonder, now that Maverick's still alive, he might be able to influence this round before he dies. If he's able to do just that, will Space Station be able to defend this a second time? It might not be the case if they can't figure out how to counter that Blackbeard.
I mean, basically what we saw at a Slash is after the Maverick went down, Slash was playing on 90 window, he repelled on in, he walked down Classical Hall, all the way over towards the bar entrance, over by the pool table, exactly where the drone of Slash is heading right now, almost as if that's where he's going to intend to go. And you got to imagine, there's a number of ways that you can utilize this Maverick-Blackbeard combo. You can poke holes in Vault and basically force the defenders in towards the sites. You can basically use it on the study walls and then just have the Blackbeard sit here, as it looks like that's exactly what we're going to do. These poke holes being created, and Slash will be able to use that face shield so well. Might have been a pre-placed C4 that will go off and it will completely miss. As Slash doesn't have a full field of view. There's a couple bits and fragments of metal there, but he's going to fall off. Those jammers will have to be dealt with, and well, you got Eclipse and Vertical to take care of that.
Gonna need to make more holes than just this. I mean, he's got some control with those holes, but he definitely needs more. Wonder if, yep, there the Maverick's gonna be making his way back, it looks like. Worried about his flank, though, for potentially the run out from B. Well-placed shield there at 90. It's going to afford a lot of control to any potential defenders there, but it looks like nobody's actually playing it anymore.
I feel like we don't often see a deployable shield at 90. Am I crazy?
No, we don't often see it, but I mean, it's a good position to have it.
Oh, absolutely.
Some angles you could play that would be pretty powerful.
Especially with an ACOG, which, speaking of, we've actually seen very minimal Rook and Doc play so far today. I mean, that might be different in the Fnatic Reciprocity game, as we haven't really known their operator lineup here, but the one thing is you typically would see more of goodbye Slash. Thinking Nate absolutely destroys the Blackbeard, has easily taken some damage as well, trying to aid his teammate. About 25% of his HP is easily will go on back towards Study and head on to Drone to try to give more intel to the rest of his remaining comrades.
Slash was not prepared for Thinking Nate's aggression there, and it was the right thing, the right solution for that problem. Being able to take out the Blackbeard is going to be huge for SSG, and considering we're coming down to the last 30 seconds, and that's the only kill so far. I mean, this is about as good as it gets as a defensive team. Captile Firebolt is going to likely kill Thinking Nate. Well, it will inadvertently, as it forces him into the crosshairs of Easily, which makes for an easy kill. On the middle stairs, Jaeger will go overlooked by Vert. That is a huge gamble. And Eclipse from behind, also going to take down one. Rampy able to refrag it. Doing a whole lot of work in this round so far. Easily gets picked up, but the shotgun blast from Bosco will get him down along with his teammate. SSG take another round, their second defense so far, and put themselves on match point.
Here's the worry if I'm Space Station, though, is that was a great play and a good recovery. Bosco played that really well. Thinking Nate almost essentially won them the round by taking out Slash so early on. But here's the bigger issue. Space Station is 2 for 2 on Aviator Games, 0 for 2 on Trophy, and Aviator Games is going to be locked unless overtime occurs between these teams.
Yeah.
So you have to do something that you haven't done yet as the defense, and you need to win on a site that is not Aviator Games. Space Station, I think, realizes Trophy hasn't worked for us twice. Let's go somewhere else. Dining Room and Kitchen is going to be the contest here. And with the game on the line for Space Station, I think if Rogue wins this round, Rogue probably pushes us all the way to OT. This is essentially a do or die, maybe not statistically or mathematically, but I think mentally, this is do or die for Space Station at this point.
Here's the problem. I can think of some pretty potent places to put the Blackbeard and Maverick. There is no Maverick being brought, though, this time. They've instead decided to bring the Habana instead. Not necessarily a crazy adjustment. In fact, it makes a whole lot of sense considering the site. Of course, they had no way to know it was going to be this site, considering it is not revealed in the reveal phase. But at the same time, this is good operator abilities available currently to Rogue. And both these teams going to be, I think, in a good spot, but more so to Rogue in that they were able to adjust. I mean, even without knowing it.
Right. How much of a vertical presence is Space Station is going to have, or how much of a vertical presence will Space Station have? That's something to keep in mind here. As it does appear that for the time being, Rampy will be upstairs with that ACOG, possibly trying to contest over on Master. It looked like he was over towards 90, but then he was inside of Trophy. There's a shotgun barrel of what appears to be Chala's mute, just waiting at the doorway.
Dangerous.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely focused on roaming heavily on the top floor. Not the end of the world. Shuttle tries in vain to get that goo mine. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
There's a lot of presence up top.
I mean, even a yokai drone.
This is exactly like what I believe it was Nip did on the main floor. And oh, a great read from Vertical to take out Rampy. I don't think he saw that one coming through the barricaded window. And that'll be a really big first frag for Rogue.
I thought that was a Jaeger when I first saw him. It's that skin, man. It's super disorienting. You see it on everyone, and you're like, who is everybody? I have no idea. Well, an early kill there is going to, like you say, be a huge boon for Rogue, and given that that's going to allow them top floor control, it's even more so. SSG has decided to fall off after that loss, and I think that's the right call for Space Station. They don't need to commit themselves wholly to the top floor as they are defending Kitchen. It's so far been not a great round, of course, but so far, we've only really seen good rounds from Space Station on AVG, as you talked about earlier, so it's not terribly surprising. Though, since this is new, you know, one would hope, if you're a Space Station fan at least, that they would be able to adjust to something different.
Eclipse will go fishing, doesn't find anything. Bosco a little bit lower on HP, but the smoke is able to get away. And the wall just outside of Laundry over by the kitchen will get taken from the Hibana. So we see easily off of that Maverick onto a more traditional hard breacher. He'll be there to escort Slash. Ooh, a beautiful shot and just a one tap. As the shield of the Blackbeard is very low. He's still got one in reserve. Surprised he hasn't swapped off just yet. You still have Eclipse patrolling from above. Goodbye to the IQ. Bosco shreds through him. And there goes Vertical, whose impact in this particular matchup has not been all that strong. A drone also tossed out, and a possibility of a run out from Thinking Nate as he'll use an impact grenade on where is a typical spot that lays a claymore from the attackers. Thinking Nate will head back into sight. Eclipse is there from above, eliminates Chala. A lot of breathing room for Rogue as they are very well healed. That's Thinking Nate on a great rotate. Sight control is still there, but the buck looms large over this site. Thinking Nate taking down Shuttle, and this is still very winnable. Easily eliminates Bosco, but Thinking Nate downs one. Eclipse will need to go for the kill, but he's out of time, and Space Station will take it in miraculous form. Out of nowhere, Thinking Nate holds it all together, and what a play from Thinking Nate to give Space Station the map. Wow.
Whew. That was impressive. Excellent play there, as you said, from Thinking Nate. Just in the pivotal position, he played everything perfectly. He pushed onto the Blackbeard because he knew he needed to fight the Blackbeard on an off angle. He couldn't win a straight-up one-on-one because it's Blackbeard. Go figure. So if he challenged through the Hibana hole, he had no chance of winning that fight. But he took the off angle, he got the off angle, he won the fight. From there, he rotated to Island. He had the calls from his teammates using the marks, whether it was from yokai drones or something else. He had the calls. Somebody was pushing in from the main hallway straight into kitchen entrance. Got another free kill right off of that because information is king. Then he actually rotated to Island. Following that rotation to Island, he just won all the fights that he's presented with because he was on the right side of that location. With bulletproof cover, I mean, there's not a whole lot the enemy's going to be doing in those 1v1s, and that's all it was. It was a series of 1v1s that Thinking Nate managed to come out on top of time after time. Very impressive.
I mean, that was, I would not have put money on that. Though I would have been, I guess I technically would have been 2 for 2 on that because I already owe you a FaZe jersey and I don't really want to start helping.
You be a Space Station jersey now?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Wow.
I am done buying you jerseys.
I'm telling Space Station.
Let him know. Call Sean Duras right now.
They're right over there.
I know, they're not too far from us.
If I shouted, they could probably hear me.
So what do you think has been going on with Rogue? What's your speculation? Not just over Pro League, but they win USN, they look great winning USN. And then it kind of all goes downhill from there.
I mean, they've still got potentially 2 maps left in this series. This isn't all over yet.
This was Space Station's map.
This was Space Station's map. But yeah, Rogue has not been nearly as potent as they were in the past. I mean, Rogue, if you look really far back, Rogue was the best team in North America, hands down. Then we saw the Canadian and Young go make their own team, and then it became, CTM kind of took over back, way back. This is early days. And then once CTM took that, tier 1 spot in North America, they, it became EG, they kept that ball rolling. Rogue have kind of plateaued a little bit, and it's been a long one, it feels like. And there's been a lot of roster changes because this is not the same team that was way back then. But it doesn't feel like they've been growing as much as they need to keep up with everybody else. And they have some really awesome ideas. I do like what they did with the Maverick and the Blackbeard in that match. I think that was fantastic. Slash played it to perfection, to be honest. He had an excellent job on that. But it wasn't enough. And the reason I think is because outside of just that one thing that they were bringing to the field, there wasn't a whole lot. It looked almost as if outside of that, Rogue had nothing going for them on attack. They had a lot of situations where, like, for example, remember when Vertical was playing Ash inside of the master bedroom or bathroom? He was trying to challenge Astro. He spent a solid 30 to 40 seconds on that doorway. And because of that, I believe it was Rampy who was able to get underneath and C4 him from below because he was stuck on that position, just waiting, trying to take the fight. The Capitao also missed his bolt. So, yeah, we've got a cool Maverick Blackbeard strategy going on, but everything else is falling apart at the same time. Basic strategies like capitaling behind Astro Desk are not working. I don't know. It's something that Rogue definitely need to work on. You know, it feels like they have the plans. They know what they want to do. They know what they're trying to accomplish, but it's not as well practiced as it ought to be. And because of that, it falls apart.
I feel really bad for the loser of this matchup, by the way.
Dude, yeah.
Because they have to play the loser of Empire and Immortals.
It's a tough group, all right?
It's a very tough group.
No matter who you are.
Yeah. The group, I struggled to really figure out which group is the hardest to play in out of the four. You know, it's not Group C, obviously. Group A is pretty tough, especially with the fact that this Fnatic Reciprocity matchup is going late into the night, so to speak, as it was a massive Fnatic lead that is now tightened up, and it's like 5-4, I believe, was the last update that we got between Fnatic Reciprocity.
That one's still going?
It's still going, Michael.
So who's in the lead right now?
Fnatic, so they're tied up 1-1. Fnatic is up 5-4. It's map 3, so
that is you know what I gotta say. If you're not watching that match, make sure you don't miss it. Again, it's on that B stream.
Are you trying to tell people not to listen to us, Michael?
Parker,
is it because my voice is about 4% hoarser than usual?
Stop. It's a good match, man. You got to catch it. All right, so we're going into map number 2. It's going to be Oregon. And wow. Space Station don't want to deal with that again.
Space Station's like, nah. no more Blackbeard Maverick. We're getting rid of the Maverick.
Forget about that. Although I would say that on this map, I think the... I would say that you're probably going to want to get the Blackbeard. I think the reason they banned the Maverick instead of the Blackbeard, if it's something you don't want to deal with the combo, is because of the basement defense, so you can mute jam more efficiently. There's going to be Thatcher, though, so...
I mean, they did it because, as we have said, and I believe this is on a T-shirt idea of mine, Bosco Blackbeard win round.
It's true. I mean,
in particular on this map as well, I want to say, is when we saw him Blackbeard, it's like, it's the break in case of emergency button. They just put Bosco on the beard.
Break glass in case of emergency?
Yes.
And there's Blackbeard in there?
And it's
Bosco's
got
grabbing
Bosco's face on it.
Hey, if you know how to do Photoshop or GIFs or anything like that.
Or it's just something.
It's a strat right there.
Something, you know.
Yeah.
We're giving you free content.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving it away.
Well, I mean, no, it's dependent, though, on that actually being the case here in this match. It's dependent on Space Station and specifically Bosco actually bringing that out. So we'll see if it happens.
I mean,
Slash is going to.
I feel like we haven't seen him in so long. Slash is going to actually 6-pick off.
Oh!
Onto the glass, Michael.
Oh!
Onto the glass.
Double smokes with a glass. That's a potent combination there from Rogue. Also, this is a great set of tools to attack onto the basement. Everything here from Rogue looks good right now. There are also, I believe it was Ying being banned out, so makes sense why that's not there.
You could say that you can break glass in case of emergency.
Ha! Actually didn't catch the defender bans.
Oh my gosh, Michael.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was frolicking in the grass over there.
What?
I don't know. I was trying to come up with some random distraction. I don't know why my head went that direction.
It's Mira and Maestro.
Mira and Maestro.
Rogue ban Maestro.
Okay.
Shocker. Specifically specifically try and counter Redeemer. Put him on the Echo instead.
So this is the same defenders.
Redeemer's effectiveness on Echo and not on Maestro, it drops. It really does drop. He is scary on Maestro.
These are the same defenders that were banned last match.
That is correct.
The last map, I guess.
And are I believe the exact same defenders that were banned through the entire phase NIP match.
Really? Oh yeah, no, you're right. Maestro and Mira. Mm-hmm. So we personally have not casted a single map that doesn't have Maestro and Mira ban.
But that's the way that we found it all season, right? Is that I mean, every single time since Maestro was basically created and operator bans were created, there's so little flexibility on the defender bans in comparison to the attacker bans, I find.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. I mean, you look at the top 5 banned for both attackers and defenders, and you'll notice that the defender top 5 bans, I mean, the percentages are incredibly high.
Top 5 most banned operators, you'll never guess what's number 3.
No, but...
No, it's seriously. Number 3 is Mira, I think.
Yeah. Maestro, Mira, you're going to get those banned quite a lot. And so far at this event, it's not super surprising. It's just, hey, look at that. Neat. Maestro and Mira haven't been played. Whatever. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Again, this attack so far from Rogue has been decently efficient. They have to deal with some roamers that are still in Meeting Hall, though, from Space Station. And those roamers are actually really well established. It looks like the Glass has been down. Must have been thinking nade challenging him, or potentially a C4 from somewhere we didn't notice. No, likely the Bandit challenging. So good job to do 50 damage to the Glass. Would have been better if he had gotten him, of course, but hey, damage is damage, and he took none in return.
They'll pick up the Glass, no problem, and then be able to move on from there. Using Eclipse on that Thermite, they're able to open up the side wall and now look all the way down in towards the half wall down. In Closet is often referred to as... Now keep in mind that you don't have a Mira, so you can't really play inside of that closet, but you also don't have a Maestro, so you can't even put an Evil Eye up there.
Yeah.
I would imagine that you've likely got Chala bringing the bulletproof camera and putting it down on that wall, but I don't know. I mean, the wall is bandited, so no, actually, that you can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the setup here from SSG is going to leave them very vulnerable to Rogue's utility, and they're set up very well, and by they, I mean Rogue. They've got all the utility being dumped in. There's only 30 seconds left, so they're trying to go for it. Redeemer wins a fight he shouldn't have against Vertical, who is well aware of his position. The Glass is covering, but the C4 is something he couldn't account for. The second one will get that kill, but that's 2 C4 for 1 kill. Glass hasn't managed to make anything happen in this round so far. Bosco is just playing with him, and now Glass will be forced to go for a plant with no time left. He is fully committed. Shala denies it, and that's it. There's no time for the attackers to either kill all the defenders or get the diffuser planted. The round is just over, just like that. Because Rogue spent too much time clearing out the west side of the building. They left themselves only about 30 seconds left to push into the site once they got the drop open. And there was still plenty of utility on SSG's side.
Yes, indeed, Michael. It was just like Broadway and my favorite play, a West Side Story.
Because they cleared out the west side. And they took a long time clearing out the west side. Is that the reference you're trying to make, Parker?
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay. So,
let's not try and underplay the importance and the difficulty of defending that site without both a Mira and a Maestro. And it didn't appear like there was a bulletproof camera at all, because the only operator that could run it was Chala, but he had the C4. So that was Space Station relying on 2 things. Number 1, long enough of a hold upstairs in Meeting Hall, which worked out well. You took quite a bit of HP off of the Glass. You saw that Rogue struggled to flush out Meeting Hall. And number 2, Redeemer keeping those yokais available, because that was all you had for intel. 2 yokai drones.
And the C4s. The C4s, both of them landed. Dude, listen, these are professional players and they practice those C4 tosses. They go into custom matches and they practice. But it is still really hard to land that C4. Through the wall, avoiding the shelf, landing the C4 there is a difficult task. And again, you have to have that throw down pat to make it every time. So impressively done there for SSG. Because of that, there was not really much that Rogue could have done, I guess, to counter. They had a lot of good utility to make it happen. I don't know if it was used properly. I mean, the Glass was not in a great spot. He also did not accomplish anything. I don't know if you noticed, but Glass didn't land. I don't think he landed any shots at all. And following that, the Capital Firebolts did not deny any utility being used, which is one of the things that it's really they're meant for, making it so you can't get C4'd. You can get those Capital Firebolts real deep, and you can cut off the angles that people will throw the C4 from. But not the case for either of those 2 pieces of utility from the attackers, and because of that, yeah, it wasn't that difficult for SSG to get those C4s out. And calling off the yokai drones, like you said. Here we go, though. Easy clear into the generator, and the wall will be opened, looks like with no contest.
So interesting that you won't have any presence whatsoever on that wall. Also, a yokai of Redeemer being spotted. This is a good opportunity. Get in there. Slash. There you go. It's gone.
You got it.
Say goodbye to the yokai. Oh, man. Rogue so swift on this execute. They have lots of control, but they will be stopped, at least temporarily, by the toxic canister of Bosco. Right now on the razor's edge with generator wall opened up, heading all the way into bunks. It's a good position as well for Slash to just sit and wait. He's been able to use that caliber-based destruction of Glaz's DMR to see all the way to the rotate. That stops Dorms from both the kids' side towards the big Dorms.
The counter to this generator push is the smoke canisters, and oh, what is this push from Vertical? He gets shut down. Slash will refrag, though, because of the long angle he opened up earlier. Chala from below will take out Eclipse, using those holes that were pre-established from SSG. The attack has been blunted, but not completely halted. Some damage done to both players, Rampy and Easily, but he goes down to Thinking Nade, also coming right up those white stairs. Slash challenging inside a generator. Shuttle also trying to challenge the same angle, but again, those holes from below, really hard to contest right now. Chala is the one playing that angle just inside of Classroom. And meanwhile, there's 3 defenders in the site. Slash takes some damage, pistol out. He can't win the fight against Rampy. Shuttle goes for his own fight, but will lose it against Thinking Nade. A really easy hold there for SSG as they stacked up on that generator push.
That was going so well for Rogue, too. Everything looked to be falling into pieces, and then it just fell to pieces. I screwed up.
I know what you meant, Parker.
Falling into place.
Falling into place, and then it fell into pieces.
And then it fell to pieces.
I know what you meant.
You know what I did, Michael? I mashed the idioms.
I thought that was my thing, Parker.
Yeah, but I did it, okay? Imitation is the
Guys,
most sincere form of flattery. I'm half the way towards a ponytail.
He's stealing my thing. Half the way towards a ponytail?
Yeah, man.
No, dude, you got years of growing that hair out.
Just a bit of a brief update here. We are currently on the Bravo channel. Right now, Fnatic up 6-5 in their 3rd map. This could be over, and the Aussies could be looking to square off against FaZe Clan tomorrow. We're just a couple minutes away. Don't be fooled by the fact that we are now on map 2 of our 2nd match over here on the main channel, and that first match is still going strong.
Reciprocity Fnatic is definitely one that you're gonna watch the entirety of, and if you've missed the first 2 maps, I would recommend maybe just waiting, watching from the beginning.
Them, you know?
Yeah, TiVo them. Exactly. So, okay, that last round. Rogue, yeah, they were set up really well to clear into generator. They had that wall open. They had control, but it was a trap. The gas canisters, the yokai drones, the C4s, there were people playing below with pre-opened murder holes inside a classroom and then the kitchen hallway. Overall, everything from Space Station was set up to hold the generator push. As soon as they heard the thermite charge, they were like, oh yes, please, push generator, and SSG were ready.
We actually have an update for you just 10 seconds ago. In keeping with the Australian theme, the Australian team of Fnatic prevailing over Team Reciprocity, and it will be FaZe Clan versus Fnatic tomorrow, and Ninjas in Pajamas versus Team Reciprocity. The winner of FaZe Fnatic goes out of the group stages to the playoffs, and the loser of Reciprocity NIP goes home.
Wow. Very well done to Fnatic. And I'm sure Reciprocity not feeling so great about that one. But again, they still have that chance because of the loser bracket. So it's not over yet for anybody. And I can't wait to see that Fnatic FaZe match.
That's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah.
All things considered. But speaking of exciting, Michael, we have quite the thrill ride ahead of us, and 3 levels of it as it's Tower.
Yep.
Being defended here, one of the rare split levels that we actually see played, largely because Oregon doesn't really have a suitable 3rd bomb site.
Yeah, so you have to go to either here or kitchen, and a lot of teams will just go to tower. And it looks like it's tripping up Rogue. So the death of an attacking team on tower, the attackers just lingering outside. That is the worst thing that you can do while attacking tower. And thus far, that is what Rogue has done. And we just hit the half-round mark, so...
You also saw one of the smokes from the Capitao get used and didn't really do much at all, so that's obviously an issue for Rogue. Thinking Nade just spots Vertical ever so slightly. So the Legion's position is known. Here's one thing as well. Rampy somehow managing to survive.
What?
He's got the Glaz watching through the window. Also, Eclipse on Repel upside down, trying to flush Rampy out, waiting, but it's the Thermite who's on drone. Trying to give information as to where Rampy is. Thinking they'd possibly going to get pushed from the ash below. Waiting to see if he can make it through here. Oh no! Thinking Nade might not be able to make it. He might be wandering right into the open eyes of the Ash, thinking Nade's gonna win it. No, it's Chala who does. Shuttle gets the refrag.
Oh.
It looks like Chala will walk away, and it's Thinking Nade's Goomine taking Shuttle down from the grave. Rampy in terrible position. He'll finally get pinched, and with 30 seconds to go, Rogue have to rappel on in. Bosco from below trying to hold off as the glass entries. He'll possibly see Bosco, and there's a down, but that shotgun's not going to be able to reach quite that far. The Capitao repels on in, and Bosco pops up. Oh no! The Parrot not able to land it. There's Eclipse to take him down. Chala on an absolute tear, but Redeemer needs to be able to get that Yokai down. Oh! There you go. He loses the Yokai. It's going to be a 1v1. Eclipse will be vulnerable for 7 seconds. Redeemer, run! And there you go. Rogue will fall off the plant, knowing that Space Station had it. And Eclipse decides to save the KD, and Space Station right now up 3-0 on Oregon.
Parker, what is the death of attacking teams on tower?
Taking too long to get in the gosh darn building.
Tower. Okay.
We rehearsed that. Okay.
I know what?
No,
I give up.
call it.
It's done.
Just shut the stream down.
All right, so
Just shut it down.
yeah, Rogue spent about half of the round, maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more outside. And
I am upset that we didn't do that.
tower. Why building?
I'll pout.
All right, so he's pouting. I'm going to analyze that round.
Yes.
Rogue spent a lot of time outside. Almost a little bit more than half the round. We saw Vert come in downstairs. Vertical was in Harry Potter also for more than half of the round. He made that on that push. He spent and he didn't really accomplish anything. He kept fighting with the roamers downstairs. You know what would have been great? If one person from Rogue had droned Vertical into downstairs and he had killed both Chala and Thinking on the roam underneath, then you got a decisive man advantage to attack into tower. You know Vertical's capable of it, but what happened? Nobody was droning for him. He was solo entering onto the bottom floor. That can't be happening. Someone needs to support him. Meanwhile, 3 players are attacking T3 of tower, and it takes them more than 2 minutes to take out the Jaeger upstairs.
The thing with the way Rogue played that was you had a Glaz and a Capitao. And yes, I will say, it is extraordinarily puzzling that the firebolt from Capitao somehow
I don't know
did
what happened
not
there.
kill the Jaeger.
It was weird.
Very confusing. But that can't be the only reason. I mean, maybe it would have forced Rampy to have to move, and then maybe Slash would have been able to kill him, but then you go so deep into the hypothetical game that you can't get a proper answer about whether or not Rogue would have been able to execute. There was just so many misses there, and I mean, there are a lot of teams that struggle with tower. It's not really a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
So
it is impressively done from SSG to defend that tower, but that loss in that last round definitely in the hands of Rogue. Sorry, we're being distracted.
Fnatic just walked by,
And
we're.
can we say what he just? Yeah,
There was an unkind gesture paid.
He was flashing us a peace sign, is what was happening.
Yes, that's what it was.
Hey, Aces.
So
they have smiles on their faces, by the way.
We are positioned right next to the stages.
Yeah,
so.
and Fnatic, they just walked by. They have gigantic smiles on their faces, I'm sure, after that win.
Yes.
So, here we go. Rogue versus SSG. SSG, having already won the first map, are currently up 3-0. And this is, by the way, one of the least defender-sided maps that we have in all of Siege right now.
You can just say it's one of the most even maps.
It's sure, it's one of the most even maps,
Try to
Parker.
skew your narrative, you biased caster.
Yeah, oh yeah, biased.
Mix is pro-defense.
Yeah, statistically, the defense wins a lot, so I am pro-defense.
People say, oh, you know, you're pro-NA, oh, you're pro-EU, oh, you're pro-LATAM. Kix just wants the defense to win, all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do the VOD research. You'll see it yourself. Frankly, it's disgusting.
Yeah, defense has a 51.7 win rate on this map, which again is the lowest for, I think, at all.
Yes.
Thinking Nade playing inside of Meeting Hall. The Firebolt is going to be great in allowing the exothermic charge to be detonated. Bandit cannot trick that, and because of that, you will see SSG fall downstairs. Rogue now have established control over Meeting Hall and the main lobby, and this is a very efficient round from Rogue, all things considered.
Getting this back wall just over top of the hatch, in case you are somewhat new to the game. Using the exothermic charge, it's almost like the explosion is a sphere around the exothermic
Something
charge.
like that, yeah.
So if you get the soft wall that we just saw the exothermic charge of thermite on, it also gets the hatch.
Oh no.
It's a nice Valkyrie camera, but honestly, I feel like that's a very common...
Very basic, yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe not basic, but yeah, or maybe not common, basic. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
2 bodies right now on surveillance as Slash just outside of the limit of that toxic canister. The thermite will walk right in, and Chala knows that there's one there. But you've also got a yokai in play. Give Redeemer the info. Rampy's just going to rush up. He's going to slap vertical down. That's been a fight that's been happening on a multitude of rounds, and Rampy tends to walk away with that one, as Thinking Nate had done good work against Vertical, who's been having a rough day so far.
So little time here, so much utility on SSG's side, and a lot of utility already expended for Rogue. Here comes potentially the last smoke here from Rogue, and still full information from SSG. He knows it's a commitment. C4 goes out, but it's in the wrong place, but the down will come out regardless. Chala gets the spray onto Eclipse by laundry baskets, and there's only 20 seconds left for these attackers to make the plant happen. But still, full information. Thank you for the Valkyrie cam, and SSG are in commanding position. Here we go. This should be the final potential smoke. Second C4, Thinking Nade takes out easily. Glad spraying through the smoke, and he whips out the pistol. He has no more ammunition in the primary, and there you go. SSG, a perfect round, and an easy one at that. Defending the basement once more, and that is 4 in a row.
That Valkyrie camera
Yikes.
should be glowing. And just nobody's looking. They were on it the whole time. Valkyrie cameras have that fluorescent blue ring the whole time.
There's no excuse, Parker. I know there's no IQ. Nobody checked it. That's the end of the story. Really a lack of thoroughness there from Rogue.
And this is one thing that everybody can take some salvation in. Even the most common and easiest things work in Pro League.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Remember when we saw the spawn peak in FaZe versus NiP, and NiP were losing so hard on Villa. And so I believe, I want to say it was Psycho who went for it, but
Julio.
It was Julio, thank you. Julio went for the run out on the balcony on Villa. You know the one I'm talking about, the pretty basic run out onto the balcony, outside of Master. And he tried to get a spawn kill because his team was losing really heavily, and he wanted to bring it back. And yeah, it's a really brain-dead play. That is the description of that play. It's the same thing as like some of these cameras that you will see is like, that's pretty obvious. But because this is such a high level of play, this is the highest level of play, technically, with the Invitational. It's the pinnacle of CG sports. You're sometimes going to get away with the really basic stuff. So it's not a crazy thing to see happen, and it certainly worked there for SSG. I don't know though. I'm more just disappointed that nobody checked the corner, man.
I don't even. Oh man. I don't even know. Like, it's there. You should see it.
Somebody should check the corner. Nobody did.
But the one beautiful part was that I think the marks finally came out in the final 10 seconds onto the glass.
Bomb located by attackers.
So if you put a bandit jammer, or sorry, a bandit battery on a wall, then a mute jammer, when placed next to it, will be destroyed. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you learn something new every day, and I'm sure now Chala knows that. So.
NA jammer, lol.
The exothermic charge will be successful into generator. And now, the roamers downstairs for SSG are going to be very important. Again, this is the same way that Rogue is attacking the same way they did the first time they went here, and SSG is defending the same way that the first time they went here. So, I mean, the setup here from SSG is perfect to defend against this attack from Rogue, and it's very likely we'll see a similar result, potentially a 5-0, but with full stacks on both sides, it's anyone's game still.
I know we joke about that, but that mute jammer actually could be really consequential.
Yeah.
that might have just been a massive blow to SSG.
It's true. It's true.
Rogue are about 10 seconds slower than they were on their execute on this site in particular last time around. And well, would you look at that? No, Slash, that is not a toxic canister. That's just a piece of electrical wire attached to the outlet above you.
That's...
I would imagine that we're going to have some great vertical play from Space Station, very similar to what we saw last time, and allow Rogue to just walk right in. I don't know if I'd say that Rogue got baited last time, but SSG countered
It was a trap.
effectively.
It's definitely a trap.
And you've got C4s, you've got at least 2 of them, if Chal and Thinking Nate are both holding the dual nitro cells. And there you go, thank you very much. And the execute will go off. I don't know if that was a smoke canister. That might have fallen through the floor.
It was?
If that's the case, but vertical, just walking right in. He sees Thinking Nate, goes for a second vertical, warming up. And he's got another body right nearby, but it's Space Station picking up 2 of their own. Eclipse going for a plant, and there's maximum coverage here. Nobody knows. All around the corner, unable to connect. Oh, Rampy picks up Eclipse, looking for another, and they will head for the hills as there's only 20 seconds to go. Bosco playing from below. He's got 2 members of the team to try and stop Slash and easily, but it looks like Rogue might be completely deprived of utility.
Oh.
There's Redeemer. He's got one in hand, but Slash pulls out the PMM and he'll have to stick in the middle of the site. Very exposed. Timer running out. Rampy pushing on in. Slash will go for it, and he sees one. This is a very winnable position from Rogue. Is he going to be able to grab the other? Bosco's got his back turned to him, and Slash gets down. Space Station with 5 in a row. Bosco needs to find that diffuser. Does he know where it is? He does, and it'll be very, very easy. Michael for Space Station Gaming to get 5 of 5. Oh my. What a recovery. Space Station on fire for the moment.
I hate to say it, but that was pretty bad cover there from the Glaz inside a generator. Ah, man, there is no world where Rampy is supposed to be take out Eclipse. Eclipse was planting the fuser. He should have gotten that down. It should have been a post plant. The cover should have gotten that frag. It didn't friggin' happen. I don't know. The smoke missing there was pretty bad. It fell through the floorboards because they were opened up by SSG. By the way, very smart for SSG to open up as much of the floor as they did, because it is exceptionally likely that the smokes will fall through, and they did fall through. Because those smokes fell through, there was no cover for the actual plant in generator. Aside from that, they were going for the cover without the smoke, and it just wasn't great. A lot of missed shots happening there from Rogue, and it made for a pretty easy retake for SSG. And denial of the plant initially. I like the attempted clutch from Slash, but he should have been able to cover Eclipse in the initial fight by generator, and that's the truth. Now, missed shots are missed shots, and he has had a couple of them this match, but it's not the end of the world. There's a recovery potential.
Come on, the way that Rampy played at the top of White Stairs.
Oh, it was great.
He misses almost the entire magazine
But he made it work.
on Slash, and then manages to one-tap the diffuse planter.
Yeah. I mean, he made it work.
Eclipse.
He made it work, man. That's all that matters.
He did, but I mean, I don't know. It's
Well, okay, Parker, it's a story of Slash played it poorly. And he played it worse than Rampy, who also played it poorly. I said it the other way around, but
let's play the game. How many bullets can we both miss in one shootout?
I think
I'll go first.
Technically, Rampy missed more bullets because he has a fully automatic weapon with more ammo in the magazine, but in the end, Rampy, he made it work. So that's all that matters, I guess. Yo, this could be an easy kill here for Slash, as he's looking on the angle where Rampy is playing. Rampy's been peeking on these corners quite a lot, actually. There's potential for a frag, but ooh, more of those missed shots. Unfortunate.
This is Rampy flirting with disaster.
Yeah, it's
no?
really dangerous.
There you go. That asphyxiating bolt is going to land.
Hey.
Beautiful execution, Rogue. That's an easy clap there for Rogue to be able to get that, and that's what you were looking for to break tower open the last time you attacked here.
Yeah, that's their best attack so far on this site. Already having T3 control. Whether or not they have anyone in T3, it's definitely in the attacker's favor now. There's no way a defender's going to be able to get up there through the ladder. They're also looking for T2. Almost got the smoke of Bosco lingering in that position. The Firebolt's going to not do any damage, but prevent the peek at the very least. He's looking for the angle.
Hello?
He's looking for the angle. He's looking.
Hello?
Oh! Oh, no! Easily, no! No, not like this! Oh, man. So, okay, equalize thanks to Bosco's excellent gunplay and Easley's lack thereof. Chala has rotated over to dorms, and he's looking to get some people on rappel. It's going to be a difficult angle to play. It doesn't look like anybody's really exposed to him right now. But no, I spoke too soon. Chala will take down vertical on that rappel. So Rogue, again, lingering outside. And they're going to finally go in, looks like, for T3 control. Ooh, a free kill given away thanks to Thinking Nade. Definitely going for too aggressive of a play. Bosco also going to lose some HP to Shuttle, who has isolated him in this corner of tower. But Redeemer from the main stairs is going to eliminate Slash as he repels in. There's still plenty of time. Because of that, Shuttle's able to come from behind. Bosco, though, still alive and will refrag his teammate, putting this into a 1-on-2. But it's T3 control for Eclipse. He's going to give it up, though, pushing his way into the site. There's potentially still a Yokai drone above him. There's no Yokai being played, but information is information. C4 goes out, but it misses thanks to the sandbags. On T3 tower is Bosco, who loses the fight to Eclipse, who just ADS's mid-sprint. This is a crazy situation, but Eclipse is still going to lose it because Chala is inside of meeting. Oh, I don't know what's going on anymore, Parker.
How?
It was all over the place.
How does that Capitao just get slapped off the earth? Like, if I'm being honest with you, like you're hitting the front of the face mask. That looked like it was the respirator aspect of the smoke headgear.
I don't know.
And then Bosco just turned around and brat. I believe was the if we're doing gun nuts, a brat.
I can't do a brat.
There you go.
That was
Bosco turns around and is like, no, thank you, see you later. And now Space Station Gaming are up 6-0.
That last round, I was all, dude, it was a mess. There was no momentum to that round. It was constant back and forth. And there were so many situations where I thought one team was going to take it or the other team was going to take it. And there was no real reason why, nothing sensible, at least, contributing to either team taking it. It ended up being SSG, but could have been anybody. And almost all of those kills were thanks to a mess happening. I mean, there was the one you were talking about between Easley and Bosco, where Easley misses a lot, and then Bosco doesn't.
So there are going to be a lot of people who are going to, say things like esports ready and stuff like that in the chat. But there's something worth noting here is that your visual hitbox is not the same as your actual hitbox. So from our perspective, it looked like the gunshot was hitting like the respirator mask, which is not
part of the
part of your body. Yeah, it's very similar to when Maestro's lying prone and somebody will light up his backpack, or Lion when he was played, you'd light up his backpack.
I mean,
it doesn't do any damage because it's,
If you look far enough back, all of these different things used to be part of the hitbox, but that's in the past.
I mean, Blitz used to be able to headshot him by hitting his earmuffs.
Yeah, it's the same thing for Jaeger and Bandit.
You're going to get your bell rung if somebody grazes your head with a bullet and hits your earmuff. That's going to hurt. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, so the hitboxes now are real, person-sized.
Yes.
So all of the stuff you're wearing, the gear, technically shouldn't be part of the hitbox.
So you can shoot like the mask parts of the SAS operators that protrude from their face, and it's not a headshot because it's not actually their head. So I think that's what was happening, and then Bosco turned around, and as I said, it just he's dead. So Space Station will move on to attack. They'll bring an interesting strategy here. Go for soft destruction up top.
Yeah,
obviously it's going to be a dorms defense. And I think if you're Rogue, you got to do that, right? You got to go for a dorms defense. You don't want to go for laundry supply room on that main floor or on that bottom floor. It's too predictable. It's very difficult to defend, especially with the absence of both a Mira and a Maestro. You might only have one shot here. That's it. You got to be perfect for the rest of this contest. And well,
I mean, on match point, this is tricky. You can see that Rogue aren't established as much underneath as what we saw from SSG when SSG defended the same site, but they do have the pulse downstairs. So there's definitely still vertical play being brought by Rogue. It's just not as heavy. The pulse is going to be a very useful tool in this location. You can see vertical is going to be the one to cover pulse from Meeting Hall.
Very important right now that Rogue doesn't lose their very first player on site, because if you lose one on site, then Space Station have the tools to cut you down, and this, being a dorms take, is the hardest, one of the hardest sites
it's up there.
to retake in the entire game. So, good start, vertical with one, takes out Rampy, immediately heads for master bedroom, rotates all the way on over, vertical grab a second. Chala takes out Slashug, but A great refrag from Rogue as Spacestation will now scramble. There's still plenty of time left for both of these teams to throw the round away. Redeemer will be hot on the case of this Jaeger who's just around the corner. Redeemer, you can't shoot through a reinforcement, and Vertical will take his 3rd kill. There's Eclipse to shut down the ace, and Bosco will be just hung out to dry, quite literally. He'll prime a frag grenade, it'll drop on down, gets eaten by an ADS. Try in vain as much as you can, you know somebody's there, but it's Vertical with a 4K coming alive, and at least putting the brooms back in the closet as Rogue will finally grab a round. It's taken quite a long time, but here they are.
Yeah, so not a 7-0. Would have been the second 7-0 we've seen today if it were to happen, but not the case here. Good to see from Rogue. They could potentially bring it all the way back. Of course, they're just going to need to win 6 in a row, including that one we just witnessed.
Easy.
Easy. Yeah,
Easy.
I mean, we just saw it from SSG. That means that, of course, Rogue can do it as well.
The saddest part for Rogue fans right now, and if you bear with me here as there's some very upsetting music in the background, is that Oregon is not a map that has 3
You're right.
defendable sites. Yeah. The throw clear was for theatrical effect, Michael.
Okay.
You can win dorms, you can win laundry supply, but by and large, you're really not winning tower and kitchen. At least not twice. I mean, unless you're Space Station.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that Rogue have not been a fan of Oregon so far this season. Through the regular Pro League season and the qualifiers to the 6th Invitational, they've banned Oregon 5 times. They played it once, and they lost it once. So it's definitely not... This is definitely not a great spot for Rogue to find themselves in. On the other hand, for SSG, it's actually a similar story. This is curious because SSG apparently have banned it 11 times. That's ridiculous.
That's Dark Zero numbers.
And they've played it 3 times. Banned it 11 times, played it 3 times. They've won twice and lost once. So, I don't know. This is definitely not a map for either team, for sure. This is Rogue's map. So, they're the ones who brought us here, but clearly it's not working out so well so far.
Here's one of the biggest issues that Space Station has had both in Pro League and in the qualifiers to get here. Because let's not forget, Space Station were one of the teams that literally grinded their way through the gauntlet of pain and suffering to grab a spot at the Invitational.
Is that what we're calling the qualifiers?
Well, I mean, it's trademarked now.
Okay.
So, one thing that Space Station has always struggled with is closing out games.
It's true, yeah.
The final 2 to 3 rounds of every match that SSG is in, they just forget how to play. And where are they right now? It's 6-1.
They should be able to lock this out, but
they lose this round, they lose the next. I think Rogue has a massive swing of momentum. Yeah. And there's a high probability that we end up going to a 3rd map. As crazy as it might seem, based on historic precedent with SSG, that's what happened.
I think if there's any team that's going to let us go to a 3rd map in this situation, it's SSG.
Oh, absolutely.
If there's any team. But it's worth noting, Echo is, if I'm not mistaken, not banned. And there's a dock instead of an Echo being brought by Rogue on a basement defense. And that's a lot of utility, just not there for Rogue. You can see they're playing shuttle on the tower, and it makes sense that it's going to be Doc here, but at the same time, you know, there's other options to rotate for that Echo, and he could be so very useful here, especially in the dying seconds of the round.
Now you also got Thinking Nade's EMP to be able to try and determine where exactly these Valkyrie cameras are. We see that one is over by the casing that Slash is currently sitting by. There's another one inside that destroyed cabinet that Chala was looking exactly at, and then there's another 3rd Valkyrie camera over by that laundry plant right here.
Yeah.
So there you go. You have maximum coverage.
That one's mostly for sound. I mean, you could tell someone's on top, but otherwise you're going to be able to just call out the plant based on the sound alone. Shuttle inside a meeting hall is going to go down to Bosco. Here's the 2nd smoke total for SSG, and this looks to be a fake. Just trying to bait out some C4 if there is any. And there it is. Great bait from SSG. And going for another one, but the smoke canisters are going to force them to plant by laundry baskets. The smoke canisters are not in a position to make this happen, but the flank from Meeting Hall. Vertical almost gets 3, and yes, he does! What a round from Vert, leaving just Redeemer. He's in a post plant as Slashug takes out Chala, though. Again, it's Redeemer in the 1 versus 3. He's got 2 enemies that are exceptionally lit, and he's going to see one of them. That's the Valkyrie. Clips goes down. Last 2 on 1 bullet worth of HP. And he knows he has full information on the fuse plant, but it's not going to be called out. Oh no, Slash is sticking it, and Vertical gets another one. That's 4 for him in the round. And Slashug will get the disable. Rogue put 2 together.
I hold in my hand the strat book from Ranger himself that says, How to Mount a Comeback on Oregon by going Rogue GG. Step 1, have Vertical get a 4K. That's it. That's the whole book. That's
2 for him, right?
That's 2 4Ks in 2 rounds.
So Vertical's having a good half, huh?
I'd say. I mean, you get 8 kills in 2 rounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, certainly.
I think that's it. I mean, at some point I'm going to have to give this book back to Ranger. But for the time being,
You can keep it.
I mean, I went up
And we
to
can study
him
it.
before the match, and I said, hey, you know, is there anything that you want us to maybe point out or anything to keep in mind? He says, you gotta check out our Oregon strat. And I was like, all right, let me see it.
By attackers.
And there it is.
Yep.
There it is.
We did see it. But now here's the tricky thing. We're going to the off-site now. It's going to be Tower. The question is, can Rogue make Tower work the same way SSG did the first time they went here?
I feel like this is the time in like every movie. I feel like there's a time in like every movie where like your life flashes before your eyes, and I feel like SSG is just having like all these thoughts of making it to the next round,
Yeah.
interspersed with like flashbacks to every game that they have basically thrown when they've been sitting on match point.
They've thrown a lot of matches. They have, and it's why they have so many draws in Pro League. 4, as a matter of fact. That's a lot. That's a lot of draws to have, and I don't know. I'm hoping for. Wow, was that a miss? Did that land on T3, or am I mistaken?
No, I think it landed on the beam actually.
Did it? I didn't.
Oh,
No, it did. It landed on T3.
I mean, all right.
Whoops.
Valkyrie's reach is not where it used to be.
Yeah, she cannot throw those further than any human alive
Yes.
anymore. Rampy going to be pushing his way in from the west side, and he's already cleared into Cafeteria. This is the best chance the Space Station is going to get for this first half.
They came really close on Laundry Supply Room. I got to say that much.
Yeah.
They came real close. Redeemer was just starved for info. That was really what it boiled down to, right?
Yeah, absolutely
So,
agreed.
yeah.
There's been a couple of instances, though, where SSG have had players start for info. And you can see here on defense, that's not been the case for Rogue. They've got those Valkyrie camps in great positions, and because of that, Vertical's going to get essentially a free kill. He goes for a second one, but no 4K for you this time,
Michael.
Vertical. The game plan is being countered.
Throw the book out. Vertical is down. I repeat.
Vertical is down.
No 4K here. This is the time for step 2.
Slashug gets a 4K?
Somebody's got to get one.
All right.
Still opportunity here. Worth noting that Vertical did all that himself. He had the Valkyrie camera on the ceiling fan. That was above the. All right, that's a wonderful way to go down a ladder.
Yeah, it is.
But still, I'm not confident what Space Station has going for them.
I am not confident at all either.
They lost their only set of smokes. They
Yeah.
lost their disruption with the logic bombs. They have very minimal map control, if any at all.
They are not playing very... I mean, they're not playing for much control at all right now. Challenging the Bandit, not winning that fight. You will eventually get it, but it's actually Thinking Nade who gets that
2
down, I believe. Or no, there you go. 1 for Thinking Nade, 1 for Bosco, actually.
This is going to be a lot of trouble for Slash playing at the top, because that ACOG is going to do great work from long ranges, but you're going to have to push the Doc into a position where he's going to have to hit the deck.
Yeah.
You're going to rely so much on Eclipse being able to get back into the site, and if you've got somebody there on flank watch, which there is, you're going to leave Slash all alone. And there you go. Slash will literally need the 4K, Michael, in order to give Rogue the victory here. Plant going down from Redeemer, and there's going to be no contest. Slash will drop, just barely make it, and cut down to size. No stim pistol, no pickup. And they will shake off the curse in the final couple rounds as Space Station will fell their North American brethren, and they'll win Space Station will advance. And they'll play the winner of Empire Immortals tomorrow. That's it for Rogue's day. A pretty quick 2-0 in both our first and second match now.